What's up everyone, welcome back to another episode of These Creations. So today we're going to be making a cover-up dress, and it's going to be in Rastafarian colors. As you can see, we have yellow, black, green and red. So those are the colors you're going to need, and I'm going to be using Robin. It's 100% acrylic, but I'll be doubling my strands just so I can achieve the medium weight yarn. You're also going to need a 5mm hook, some pair of scissors to cut the strands, a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and of course you're going to need a tape measure so you can get the right measurements for yourself or for your clients. So I'm going to put these aside and we get started. So I'm doubling my strands, as you can see, and the first thing you'll need to know is how long you want your dress to be. I'm making a size large and it's going to be a short version, so you can make it longer if you prefer to do that. So I'm going to start with a chain of 170. So you're going to go ahead and make the chain of whatever number you want, depending on how long you want your dress to be. So like I said, I'm making a chain of 170. Go ahead and make yours. I'll meet you once you are done with it. So I have made a long chain of 170, and the next thing you're going to do is add 3 more chains. And then you're going to yarn over and skip those 3 chains. So you're going to count downwards. You count 1, 2, 3. And in the 4th stitch you're going to place a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through the last two loops on your hook, and then chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip a stitch and make a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, yarn over, skip a stitch, place a double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip a stitch and place a double crochet into the next one, and you're going to repeat that until you get to the end of your chain, and that will be our first row. So you'll be chaining 1, skipping 1 stitch, placing a double crochet into the next one. And as you can see, our mesh is there. So go ahead and repeat that, guys. I'll meet you at the end. I'll meet you back at the end of the row. So at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1, yarn over, and make your last double crochet into the very last chain you made, the first chain rather, and that's what you should have. So that's the end of our first row, and that's the mesh stitch we have for now. So the next thing you're gonna do is chain up 4. So chain 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then you're going to turn your work. and now you're going to yarn over and make a double crochet on top of this previous double crochet. So yarn over, make a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet, chain one, yarn over, skip the one chain and make another double crochet on top of this previous one, chain one, yarn over, make a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet, and you're going to repeat that until you get to the end of our row 2. Okay, chain one, make a double crochet on top of the next stitch, chain one, yarn over, make a double crochet on top of the next stitch, and repeat till you get to the end of the row. I'm now at the end of my second row, so you're going to chain one and you're going to place a double crochet on this last stitch, so don't skip it. So you'll have to yarn over and make a double crochet in the third chain. Okay, and that's how you will end your second row and all the rows that are going to follow. So you're going to chain 4, turn your work, yarn over and make a double crochet on top of the next stitch. Okay, chain 1, yarn over, make a double crochet on top of the next stitch, chain 1, yarn over, and repeat. So it's basically the same thing we did on this second row, and it's what we're going to repeat until we have a bigger project. So I'm going to be making 8 rows of each color, but you can make less rows of each color if you prefer to do that. It's totally fine. So you might want to do maybe 4 rows of each color or 5, but I'll be making 8 rows of each color. So after my red, I'll choose another color which I'll add on this, and then I'll get back and show you what to do once you have once you're done with the first 8 rows. Okay, once I'm done with the first 8 rows of this red color, I'll come back and show you how to change or how to attach the new color, and from there I will make more rows and show you the measurements you'll need to take, or how long you need to make your dress, and then I'll show you everything else as we go. So go ahead and repeat, make a double crochet, chain 1, yarn over, make another double crochet on top of your previous double crochet. So I'll meet you once you have the first rows of the color you have chosen. So I'll meet you once I have 8 rows of this color, and I'm going to be doing the same thing we did on row 2, and that's what you're also going to be repeating. Okay, so this is what I have for now, and these are 8 rows, and I'm just going to end my row with a double crochet in this very last stitch, because we are trying to have a straight edge here, so please don't skip it. Don't skip that last stitch. So okay, double crochet, chain one, and then cut the yarn, because I'm now going to change. I'm going to change color to black. Okay. So I'm just going to attach my color from here, from where I have left off, on this very last stitch. So simply insert your hook, make a knot on the other color and attach it. Okay, I'm going to weave in my ends later. Then you're going to chain 4. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So from here you're just going to repeat what you have been doing. A chain 1 and a double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet. This is going to be the back part of our dress, and that's why we are going to make it straight. We're not making any changes. You're just going to keep making it long, changing the colors in the way that you want to do it. And I'm going to do the same, and then once it's bigger I'll get back and show you how big you should make it according to the measurements that you have. Let's continue. So guys, this is what you should have at the end of it. This is our back panel, and now we're going to work on the front part. But before we do that, I need to show you the measurements. So as you can see, I used red, black, green, yellow, and I added red here because it was going to be too small for the measurements that I have. I'm actually making this for myself, and my hip measurement is 50 inches. So I have to make this so that it can accommodate the back part of it until it gets to the sides of my hips. So with my hip measurement being 50, I'm going to make the front and back panel half of my hip measurement. So so far this goes up to 20 inches, and that is without it being stretched. And when I stretch it, it goes up to 25, and that is half of my hip measurement. Okay, because now this is 25 inches plus the other 25, that will take me to 50 inches. You're going to make a chain starting with the same number of chains you started with for the back panel, and you're going to make the first rows. Like if you are making 8 rows like how I have been doing it, you're going to make it up to 8 rows, and from there I'll be showing you the rest so that we can work on the neckline and leaving out the armholes as well. So I hope that's clear. Go ahead and complete the back panel. Start the front panel with the same number of chains you started with the back panel until you have the first few rows. I went ahead and started my front panel, and I started it with the same number of chains I started with for my back part. And so far this is what I have, and these are 12 rows. I have made 8 rows of red and 4 rows of green. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create the neck part of it, the neckline. So this is the back here. This is the back panel. So this other part is going to be here. Okay, so this part here is going to be joined. This is going to be the shoulders, the shoulder part. Okay, so now we have to create the neckline starting from somewhere here, depending on how you want your cleavage to show. If you want it more covered, you can start from up here or downwards if you want to show some cleavage. And I'm going to start, I'm going to cut my yarn from here, or you can make slip stitches until you get to wherever you want to start creating the neckline from. But for me, I'm going to cut the yarn and I'm going to reattach it on a stitch that I want the neckline to start from. So my next rows are going to start from somewhere here until it goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, until it goes up to here. So, and once I get to this level, I'm going to create a chain going up, and then we are going to work again like how we have been working, creating this other part for the shoulders. So here is the thing, guys. I'm now going to cut my yarn here. I always leave a long tail to weave in later. So I'm going to count 12 double crochets. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I want to start my neckline from the 13th stitch. Here, I'm going to insert my hook in here and reattach my yarn. Okay. And like I said, you are going to do this according to how much cleavage you want to show or how long you want your neck to be. So yeah, this is it. So I'm going to attach my green because we have to make it to 8 rows, just like how it has been with the back part. So make a knot and reattach the yarn. Chain up 4, yarn over, and make a double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, yarn over, make a double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, yarn over, a double crochet on top of the next stitch. So you're just repeating the same pattern we have been doing. And once you get to the end, you turn and you turn your work and get back to this stitch. So that's it. So once you get to the end of the row, chain one, and don't skip this the first chain, the one you started with. You are going to yarn over and place a double crochet in the third chain. Okay, like so, because we are trying to have this neckline straight as well. So if you skip this last stitch here, then your work is not going to be straight. Okay, and then you'll chain up 4 and turn your work and chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and that's it. So I'm going to make so far I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 rows of green. So I'm going to make 2 more rows of green so that they can be 8 rows of green. Okay, and then I'll change to yellow. So I'll change to yellow and just I'm still not sure how many rows I'm going to make for the neckline, but I'll go ahead and do that and I'll show you what I have when I'm done with it. So guys, this is what I have. I made an extension of let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 rows, and this is going to be the chest part of my dress. So now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to extend these rows up so that we can have the same thing we have here. So we are going to make a chain going up and then we are going to extend the rows just like what we have here so that we can have our front panel completed. So to do that, or to know how many chains you are going to chain here, you will need to count you'll need to count the stitches you skipped here, and you are going to start with the chain space right here. This one here, this stitch here is the one you're starting with. As you can see, my last stitch, the chain I started with is on this stitch here. So I'm starting from the chain 1 space counting. So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 and 24. So it means you are going to chain 24 stitches going up. Okay, so I'm going to make a chain of 24. So you're also going to chain as many chains as you skipped on this other part. So I have chained 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 and 24. And once you have 24 stitches, or whatever number of chains you had to chain here, what you'll do is you're going to yarn over, and you're not going to count the stitch on your hook. you're going to start from the very last chain you made and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to make a double crochet in the 5th stitch from the hook. So you're going to yarn over and place a double crochet in that 5th stitch. Chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip a stitch, make a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet into the next stitch, and you repeat that until you get to where the chain ends, and then we continue from there. Oops. Alright, so this is what I have. So now, as you can see, I have 1 stitch left right here. So I'm going to chain 1, yarn over. It means my next stitch is going to go on top of this first stitch here. So you yarn over and place a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet. Chain 1, yarn over, place a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet, and you repeat. Okay, so that's what you should have at the end of it. So now it means we are going to start working going up, trying to create the same thing we have on this other side. So we are creating the shoulder part just like what we have here. I hope you now get the picture of what we are making. So you continue with a chain 1, a double crochet on top of the previous double crochet until you get to the end of the row. Okay, so I went ahead with this row, completed it and turned my work, and now the next thing you'll have to do is work on these stitches that you made. I already chained 1 here, so you just go on top of the previous stitch. Chain 1, a double crochet on top of the previous stitch, and this is basically the same thing we've been doing. We already have our neckline. So as you can see, I was making 8 rows of each color. So I'm going to go ahead and make 8 rows of black, and I'm going to change, I'll change to red. I'm going to end my front panel with the red color, and I'll come back and show you how to join the two pieces together. So I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm working on a few more rows of black, and I'll get back and show you what to do next. I went ahead and completed my front panel, and this is what I have, and this is how your work should be looking as well. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is join the two pieces together. So you're going to grab the back panel. Mine is right here. And you're going to have the right sides facing each other. So okay, so this is it. This piece that's facing me right now is the wrong side. This is the right side, and this is also the right side, the one you're seeing here. So we are going to join the shoulders first, and we are trying to do it this way because you don't want the joining seam to be on top of your dress. So you'll need the wrong sides out so that when you flip your dress like this, the right side will be the one on top and it will be clean. Okay, so to join both sides, you're going to grab the front panel and the back, and you're going to make sure that they are even here. And we are going to be using single crochet to join, but feel free to join with whatever stitch you prefer to use. First going to make a slip stitch right there, and then insert your hook in the neck in that very space and make a single crochet like that, and a second single crochet in that same space like so, and then you're going to insert your hook in the next space and make 2 single crochets, and I'm making single crochets in each space until I get to where the shoulders stop. Jeez. Make single crochets in each space. So once you get to black, you can actually change color and join this next part of black using the same color, and that's what I prefer to do so that my work will be neat. So I'm making a knot, and as you can see, my black yarn starts from here, so simply insert the hook and this time pull out the other color or the second color like so, and then make a single crochet then you can tighten it up. Make another single crochet in that same space. Single crochet in the next space. And then make the 2 single crochets in this last space. Actually, in this last one you can make 3 single crochets since it's the very last one, and then slip stitch in the next space like so, then chain 1, and then you can cut the yarn. And like that you have joined the shoulders. Let me show you how it looks from the right side. That's it, and it's very neat. I love it. So you're going to do the same thing you just did on this part to the other part. So since this part don't match, I'm just going to use the same color I used for this bigger part. So I'm going to use red all the way through. So I'm making a knot. And I'm going to start from here. So make 2 single crochets in each space, just like what you did on the other side. Two single crochets. So once you have joined it, this is what you should have for the shoulder part. We have a neckline right here, and now the next thing we are going to do is to create the armholes and join the sides as well. So we're now going to join this longer side of our dress. So it's going to be up to you to know how big your arms are, and you're going to leave the space for your arms. So to know how many stitches you're going to skip here for your arm, you can measure your arm to see how big it is, or you can just eyeball it and guess. Anyway, that's what I would do if I was off camera, but I have measured my arm and it's 13.5 inches big. It goes up to somewhere here, so it means I'm going to start attaching I'm going to start joining from here, from where the half is, from this stitch here, this space right here. Okay, so just going to attach it, and I'm going to use the same stitches we used for the shoulders, making single crochets all the way. And I'm going to put this at the back so I can weave it in as I go. So make another single crochet in that same space where you attached your yarn from. Make 2 single crochets in the next space, 2 single crochets into the next space, and you are doing this until you get to the end of the row, or if you want you can leave a split. Single crochets in each space. So I'm now towards the end of my row and making 2 single crochets in every space. And in the very last one you can as well make 2 single crochets and then slip stitch in that very space, and then chain 1, and from here you can cut the yarn. And then we have joined the sides as well, and we are going to do the same thing you did here on this other side. You can also leave a split if you prefer to do that, so you can end the joining from somewhere here. Yeah, so we have joined this one side. I'm going to join the other side off camera, and I'll get back and show you how to make the sleeves. So I went ahead and joined the other part, so my dress is now all complete. We're just going to add the sleeves and work around the neck, and I have decided I'm going to add fringes, and this will be optional for those who don't like fringes. You can just leave the dress as it is. Okay, so I have already attached this one sleeve, and I'm just going to show you how to attach it on this other side, and then you'll go ahead and make the second one. So since I ended with red, I decided to make my sleeves red as well, so you can choose any color of your choice. So I'm going to attach my sleeves. I'm starting from here and reattaching my yarn. Then chain those 3 and 4, yarn over, make a double crochet in the next space, chain 1, make a double crochet on top of the next stitch, chain 1, make a double crochet on top of the next stitch, chain 1, make a double crochet on top of the next stitch, and you're going to continue like this until you go all around the sleeve. Now you also have an option of leaving it sleeveless dress. You can have it as a sleeveless dress, and then you wouldn't have to do all this. So once you get to this, this is where we joined from. This is the shoulder part. So you're placing a double crochet in the space here, chain 1, and make another double crochet in the next space, in the next, right there. Then chain 1. Well, so once you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch on top of the chain 3 that you started with. Chain 4, 2, 3, 4. So chain 4 and turn your work. So once you chain 4, you're going to turn your work and continue working 1 double crochet on top of the previous stitch and a chain 1 in between. Once you get to the end of the row, you're going to chain 1. I had already chained. So chain 1 and slip stitch in the 3rd chain. Okay, then you're going to chain 4 and turn your work, and you're going to repeat that until your sleeve is long enough to how you want it. And let me count how many I made here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made 8 rows of mesh, and then I added these are half double crochet. So go ahead and make the mesh part of it, and then I'll get back and show you how to do this part. Once you have the first 8 rows of mesh completed, you're going to chain 3, yarn over, make a double crochet in that space, yarn over. So we are not chaining anymore. You're going to skip the stitch and place a double crochet in the space, in the chain 1 space. And you'll be doing this for this row all the way around, making a double crochet in each space, in each chain 1 space, not on top of the stitch. When you get to the end, place your double crochet into the next chain one space and then slip stitch. Chain one and cut the yarn. So I'm now going to change to black. Insert the hook and attach the color. Chain 2, yarn over, and you're going to make half double crochet on top of every stitch around. So you're now making half double crochets only on top of every stitch. So that's my last stitch, and you're just going to slip stitch in the chain that you started with. Chain 1, cut the yarn. So you're going to attach the rest of the colors, and you're going to repeat this row we just made in black until you have the same thing you have for the other sleeve, just like this. So go ahead and complete that, and I'll be showing you how to work around the neck area. So I'm done with my second sleeve. I know I still have all these ends to weave in, which I'm going to do here shortly after I show you how to work around the neck. So I'm going to attach my black color. I'm going to attach my yarn right here. You can attach anywhere. Chain 1, 2, yarn over, and make a half double crochet in that same space. Yarn over, make a half double crochet into the next space, make another half double crochet into that same space, and two half double crochets into the next space. Yarn over, make 2 half double crochets into the next space. So we're making 2 half double crochets in each space around the neck until we get to where we just started off from. So go ahead and do this until you get to where we started off from. I'll meet you back and show you what to do next. Okay, so once you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch and then chain 2. So I have made 2 half double crochets in each space. As you can see, it's 2 half double crochets in each space all the way around. And I'm now just going to change colors and do the same thing we did around the sleeves with this, mixing in the other colors, making half double crochets in each stitch. So I'm now going to cut the yarn and reattach my next color. Going to attach it from here. So chain 2 in that same space, make a half double crochet, make a half double crochet on top of every stitch around. This is what I have for now, and I have decided to make single crochet for the last 2 rows. So for color green and red, I'll be making single crochets. So chain 1, make a single crochet in the next space, make a single crochet into the next space, another single crochet on top of the previous stitch, and you're making single crochets all the way around until you get to the end of the row. So I'm making single crochets for the green color and red, and then I'll cut the yarn. So the same thing we're doing here right now is the same thing you're going to do for the last row around the neck area. Making single crochets in each stitch. So guys, this is what I have now done working around the neck. If you find that after adding the half double crochets, like if you find that the neck area is now becoming wide, please just try to make some decreases somewhere so that it can fit you well. Well, I'm nowhere an expert. I'm just trying to teach you guys what I know and how I do it. So you just have to, find what works for you. If you don't like the half double crochets, feel free to make the single crochets all the way around the neck area. So the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to work on the fringes. I'm going to attach fringes on my dress, but this is optional. You don't have to do it. Okay. So I have already cut my fringes here. I'm just going to mix in all the colors. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, they are just short fringes. Let me see how long they are. Okay, they are about 15 inches long. So my fringe is 15 inches long. And what I'm going to do is go in the space. I have made this loop, so I'm just going to pull through the rest of the fringes to create this. Okay, so this is what you should have. I'm going to show you one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to be skipping one space in between. So insert your hook in the next space and pull the yarn through with your hook, and then pull through all the fringes. And that's how it should look. I'm going to do this until my whole dress is covered, and I'll be showing you how it looks later. So this is what I have, guys. I ended up attaching only black fringes. I ended up not liking the other ones. It was going to be too much on my dress. So this is what I have, and our dress is now done. So thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all in my next tutorial.